will also say unto you this: when you leave behind your old identity, you leave with it your ability to relate to those people who identified you. Yes? So the reference points for who you were suddenly disappear. And all the scaffolding that you had around you that told you who you were, suddenly that's not very accessible anymore. Do you see? And so the loneliness or isolation that you feel is actually you re-emerging. But this time, blessed ones, you actually get to create the reference points that tell you who you are. You actually get to be involved in the manifestation of the relationships, the manifestations of the friends. And what you will find in many instances is that your circle that constituted you not being alone is no longer in that kind of configuration. Do you understand? Because what is that about? That's about constant. Agree? That's about consistency. Isn't that what we want in relationships? Traditionally? Constant, consistency, trust, loyalty, reliability, stability, security. Sound familiar? Sound human? Sound third dimensional? Yeah, what you're sitting on now, what you're a part of now, is a creationary growth period where there isn't consistency or constancy. And that is why you're feeling lonely, because all of a sudden you're missing those reference points. What you are feeling, blessed one, is the grid is gone. The grid that you're used to, and the people sitting next to you on it. So yes, detachment from the third dimensional consistency in our reference points, detachment from the old identity. This is, as this one has so adeptly described, a clean slate. Yes? So rather than seeing it as things that have been taken away, seeing it as something that you can build upon. Do you see? And what you'll find, blessed one, is that this solar year is all about speed and acceleration. It's all about multifaceted manifestation. So it's no longer about creating this, then this, then this. There's no building anymore. All right, we're going to try and use this device again. Bear with us. All right, so you come from something that you build upon. Relationships you build upon, yes? So you start off and you meet somebody. Let's go have a coffee, slowly, slowly now. You have to get past this before you get to this. Although not for all of you. So it's all about building on things. Building relationships, building trust, building a family. Yes? Yes. Building a marriage. Yes. Building equity. What has the economy done to all of that recently? Yes? Yeah. What have all the energetic changes done to all of your stability? How many of you have been through relationship breakups, friendship breakups, had to move home, yes, had to lose your job, all of those things, yes? Why? Because they're all supported by the third dimensional grid, where you climb the ladder, yes? Sorry. So now that we're in this, and you're in a building creationary grid, there's many different directions to move in. And you move in all of them. This is no longer about choosing a path. There's no path. Now there's a radical statement. Who's going to quote us on that? Because in the 6th and 7th and 8th dimension and beyond, there's no path. There's only opportunity for multiple manifestation. Simultaneous multiple manifestation. All right, so some of you we've talked to about this already. What does it look like then to create something? Does it look like that anymore? You start from this, but what happens? what happens is you're sitting here, you and your little triangle, your point on your triangle, and you decide that you want to do this, yes? And then the next thing, you're not interested in that anymore, you want to do this. Or, for those of you who are willing, you want to go out with this person and then you want to go out with this person over here, but we'll keep that one there, because we're not quite sure what we want to do there yet. Don't laugh, many of you are like this with your careers. Agree? Yeah. Or with friendships. I'll put that one on hold, I'll go out with that friend this weekend, not sure where we're sitting with that one. It felt right at the time. Do you see? Yeah. And then you want to go out in this direction. This is what we want to focus our attention on at the moment. Now this is what we want to focus our attention on. Actually leave that there, we want to do this. Now in your children, what do you call this? Because a lot of those young ones are already wired for the new format. There's nothing sequential in it at all. But what happens is, all of these points that you've created or focused your attention or consciousness on, they all start to interconnect. And what do? They create something new. So your lives, and the formats for your lives, begin to look like constellations. And they're self-sustainable. So this, once that's created, doesn't have to put any more energy into it. It just sits there, and something new is being created. A friendship circle, a new type of business concept, a new method for doing something, a new educational system, a new product, a new way of using medicine. All because you were flexible enough and willing enough to engage your intention and take it off when you needed to. And all of those things come together. Does this require anything to maintain this? When you're on this system, you would constantly have to push. When you're in this system, all you have to do is show up. And consciousness directs your attention towards something without any constant, and that is what is created. That is the blueprint for creationary process on the new earth. So when you think about loneliness, Blessed One, think about how you've got a whole constellation to create. And it doesn't have to be constant. Because you're no longer on this, you're free to do this. So mourn not. Be delighted with your freedom.